Hello and welcome to the Hearthstone Daily Quests Barnes Lich King Tempo Rogue Deck Guide. I used this exact card for card list to climb from rank 2 to legendary. Overall, my performance with this deck on the climb to legendary was 22 wins, 11 losses for a 66% win rate. And since reaching legendary, I've played another 10 games with it, going 7-3. So let's talk about the deck construction itself. There's some core cards. Those cards are Backstab, Shadow Step, Cold Blood, Firefly, Patches, Southsea Deckhand, Swashbuckler, Prince Keleseth, Edwin Van Cleef, SI7 Agent, Southsea Captain, Cobalt Scalebane, Leroy Jenkins, Vilespine Slayer, Bone Mare. I think you should not cut any of these cards. If you cut any of those cards, you can still play the deck, but I think the deck will perform significantly worse for you. So that leaves cards that can be swapped out as a Shaku, Tar Creeper, Barnes, Cairn Bloodhulk, and the Lich King. I strongly recommend you do not swap any of these cards out. Shaku, Barnes, Cairn, and the Lich King can all win games for you in ways that just otherwise would be unwinnable. You know, sometimes you get that swipe off of Shaku. I've even gotten, a Circle of Healing as a combo enabler so I could play a turn 5 Vilespine Slayer that I otherwise would not have been able to activate. It's a little bit RNG. All of these cards are just a little bit RNG, but they will win you games that are otherwise unwinnable sometimes. And to me, Tar Creeper makes sense because there's so many aggro type decks. Tar Creeper is hard for those decks to fight through. So if you did want to take any of those cards out though, you could consider swapping in a second Tar Creeper, Serenite Chain Gang, Zero Poison Mind, or Plague Scientist. I think of these, the best card to swap in is Zero. I played a card for card, 29 card same deck to this deck list on ladder quite a bit as well and had good success with it, with the one swap being Zero instead of Lich King. I think I won something like 65% of my games with that as well over about a 40 game streak. Overall, the Lich King is undeniably a stronger card than Zero, but a lot of my games are over turn 6, turn 7. If you draw Lich King in those games, he's just a blank card in your hand, where Zero is a card that, although a 3/2 body for 4 mana kind of sucks, right? His toxins provide meaningful effects. You're already running Cold Blood. Well, sometimes he gives you basically Cold Blood. You're already running Shadow Step. Sometimes he gives you an additional Shadow Step. You're running Backstab. Sometimes he gives you a Backstab. And while the toxins he gives you aren't quite as good as those cards, there's still an additional small effect, and then they double as combo enablers for your SI7 Agent, your Edwin, and your Vilespine Slayer. Don't sleep on Zero. He's a good choice for this deck. Just for me personally, Lich King has given me a little bit better results, and I recommend Lich King over Zero. The other options we talked about, Tar Creeper, strong. If you've played Prince Keleseth, Serenite Chain Gang is amazing. But you play more games where you don't draw Prince than you do draw Prince, and Serenite Chain Gang is just okay in those cases. I mean, it's not terrible, but he's not great. Tar Creeper is just overall a better choice because he completely stalls out your opponent's board, and quite often they have to use multiple resources to deal with it. So if you're going to swap in one of the two, I would start with a second Tar Creeper before I even considered Serenite Chain Gang. And then Plague Scientist, the first Tempo Rogue deck I played ran a Plague Scientist. He's included as a way to fight through your opponent's big minions. Get a Firefly on the board, you play a small combo enabler, and now your Firefly can kill anything on the board. I mean, he's solid. I think overall, all of these options are weaker than the cards that are currently in the deck, but if you wanted to tweak it or don't have some of the cards, you should try them out. Okay, quick and dirty Mulligan guide. You are always looking for Prince Keleseth, Swashbuckler, Firefly, and Southsea Captain. Pretty much everything else gets thrown back. Exceptions to this: if you are playing against another aggro deck, you're going to hang on to Backstab. And if you're on the coin, you're also going to hang on to SI7 Agent. If you are playing against Jade Druid or Priest, and sometimes even Tempo Rogue or even Aggro Druid, you will want to hang on to Edwin Van Cleef, and if you do hang on to him, you're going to prioritize keeping Backstab and Shadow Step, even if you otherwise would not in the matchup. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the coin. Most people seem to slam dunk coin Keleseth when they have it, and sometimes, maybe even oftentimes, that's the correct play. but I don't think it's quite the no-brainer play that most people treat it as, and it prevents you from doing more powerful things later in the game, such as coining out a turn 4 Vilespine Slayer and following up with a turn 5 Cobalt Scalebane. So basically, holding onto your Prince for one turn, holding onto the coin, can quite often let you do more powerful tempo swings down the road at the cost of just one buffed draw off of the Prince. This isn't to say that playing the Prince turn 1 is always wrong, but just stop and think about it before you slam it into play. Okay, that's it for part 1 of this video guide. If you like this video, please be sure to click like, please be sure to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, helps me out a ton, and it really lets me know that you like videos like this and want to see more of them. Part 2 should be coming soon, where I plan to show off a bunch of legendary level gameplay of this deck, and hopefully it will help you pick up some pointers of what to do and, you know, if I'm being honest, what not to do. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching.